Hey everybody, so it's a little late, so I'm not going to do a night crafting video tonight. I'm going to do one tomorrow during the day and one at night. But since I've been getting so many questions about this ring, I want to explain it a little bit. This is not a typical knitting ring or yarn tension ring that you see, or it is like them, but it's a little different. So it's not a guide, a finger guide like boy sells, or they're plastic usually, or the bird looking ones, because this is specifically for Norwegian style knitting. Norwegian style knitting is basically continental style knitting, which is German knitting, carrying in your left hand versus your right hand, and except the main difference is instead of working down lower on the needles, you work at the tips of the needles. And there's a few different things you can do with that style knitting because it's at the tips. There's a different way to purl and that kind of stuff. And that's the way I knit mainly, is Norwegian. Which is why, if you've watched my knitting videos, it might look a little odd to you. I use this to help tension the yarn perfectly for that higher up hold. And also, if I was Fair Isling right now, or you doing stranded color work, it would keep the yarns more separate for me. And I could use it in a different way for that, but I'm just going to show you how to do it with one yarn. As you get closer in, you can see that it's made up of two rings. One has an opening towards, like, facing us, our perspective, and one has an opening facing outward. Simply grab your project and take the end farther from the needle of the yarn. Wrap it around. Now drop it over your finger or enter from this side. Wrap it around and pull it through, and then pop it in to this side. What you end up with is a straight line across the bridge here. It makes a bridge, really, if you want to see it. And then tension it however you want to in your hand. The traditional way would be to go under the third finger and around the fourth finger and kind of around the pinky like that. Or at least how I do it, how I understand what the traditional way. And then you just knit away. And that's what I'm using, and it really helps. As you can see, since I hold up this high, it keeps that yarn nice and tight up there for me. And it's just about preference. You don't have to knit Norwegian to use a Norwegian style knit ring, but I did want to highlight that one special fact about it. And then I'm also now gonna show you a couple times more, or just one more time, how to load it correctly, because if you don't load it correctly, it doesn't really help as much as you thought it would. And a lot of the times, if you get them on Amazon, they don't come with instructions. So again, if I was to take this yarn out of here, I've taken the long end of the yarn, or further from the needle. I've wrapped it. You see that? I've wrapped it around and into that groove, and then you just drop it into this groove. And now you are ready to knit. Just take tension it however you like. Take your long end, tension it however you like, and there you go. And that's a Norwegian knitting ring.